Well, greetings, Blade fans. OG Blade Reviews back with you again. And what do we have here on the table but a plain old packaged TwoSun? Yep, this is what you get when you get TwoSun. And, yeah, okay. This came from White Mountain, my source for TwoSun knives, period. End of story. I don't go out onto eBay any longer. Because I just don't like that whole game, but it could be exciting for many of you. But if you go to a White Mountain and you look up TwoSun, you will see perhaps 100 at times, maybe more, of these varied models. And yep, that's the whole packaging. And that's why the price is down. Budget pricing in many cases for high-end knives. This is no different. No, it's not M390 or 20 CV and so on and so forth. It's just plain old. Uh, what the heck is it? 14C28N. It's early. I always say that. This is an offering from Jelly Jerry, very well-known knife designer. You'll see his designs out there, I believe, with Kaiser, with Concepts, perhaps, definitely plenty of TwoSuns, and many other companies that don't even come to mind at the moment. But look at this Sheepsfoot with the compound grind. And it is in a beautiful belt satin. I mean, some of the early 14C knives were getting scratches on the blades and so forth. I think they've gotten past that. TwoSun's an interesting company. I mean, we don't know a whole lot about them. I'll leave you some links to, I believe, I've recently found a TwoSun link and see if I can provide that for you. Certainly, I'll provide a link to White Mountain where you can purchase this and many other TwoSun knives and many other knives, period. But what we've got going on here is a titanium backspacer, titanium scales, kind of overlays screwed in. And here we have a yellow, of all things, a G10. This is the only model that I saw on this. Interesting thing going on here in that two screws for this scale lie directly under holes in the clip. Now that's interesting. I don't think you need to obviously wouldn't be able to, or maybe you would be able to take those out, take these out, take the whole scale off with the clip on it, or you could just remove the clip first because all the screws are on the outside. I don't believe I've ever seen a knife with titanium overlays. It's usually the other way around. But these seem to be added on afterwards, and we've got a beautifully smooth transition between materials here. Nice pivot going on. T8 didn't require much adjustment, but it is not yet dropped shut. We've got a combo of a flipper tab with plenty of jimping on it. Got a pretty strong hump there, right there, where the detent ball is blocking the closure of the blade until we get to about there. Markings on this are only the Jelly Jerry's logo and TS214. Fortunately, they gave us the name of the knife on the blade, and 14C28N. I did a short on this, and somebody said, "Oh, is this your full-time job? Looking, doing these because hard as I looked, I couldn't find the name of the steel." I don't pause to try to show you the name of the steel on shorts. I just give you a real quick look at the knife. And I'm sure many of you find me out there in webland by various lookups. It's an easy thing to look up TS214 TwoSun. And the first hit you'll get is White Mountain, and then you'll get TwoSun, and you can find out all about it. So do a little research. I cannot give you everything on the veritable silver platter. Find out some stuff for yourselves. It's interesting, it's fun, it's exciting. Well, let's measure up. I'm yakking too much, of course, as usual. Overall dimensions, we've got 8.5 inches, and we've got 3 3/4 to the handle there with a cutting edge of like 3.3, 3.35, because we've got a full choil in here, just about full choil. I wouldn't want to cram my finger up in there without adjusting it a little first, because it's not quite large enough to accept the whole finger, as you can see. You're going to get skewered by that point on the heel of the blade. Other dimensions, handle's thick. It's going to be thick, 0.67. It is contoured, as I always like to say. It's got some rounding off here, so that's the high point. And then a very thick blade stock, 0.14, 0.15, call that 0.15 in millimeters, 3.6 millimeters. Still pretty hefty. Well, that isn't going to work, is it? I got two views here, one through the camera and one straight ahead with the naked eyes. It is just about 5 ounces, 4.9 ounces. So I would say for the size of the knife and the thicknesses and so forth, that's not a bad weight. Comparing it to another recently reviewed TwoSun knife, this is the TS214 by Night Morning Designs, and that's in their proprietary steel called YJ01-V1. And you can see that that particular TwoSun falls just a bit shorter, but pretty close. I just love the compound grind they did on this Tonto. That's gorgeous. You can check my review on that one based on that name. And this is the veritable Rat 1. Ontario Knives. Are they still in business? They might be under new ownership, I think. About a ½ inch or so longer. Or could that be? Overall. Could be overall, because the blades are the same. And if we use the front of the handle as a measure. And finally, what I'm carrying today, K320 Hogue Sig. Very nice daily carry knife, and that's a Tonto. They also make a drop point, and size-wise, it's a little bit shorter by at least a ½ inch, and blade length just about a ¼ inch shorter or so. I think these come in at just under, what are these coming in under? At 3.5 inches. So ¼ inch longer on the blade on that one. And I think that's what I've got for compare at the moment. But yeah, it's a thick handle. It holds really well, and this jimping is just really grabby. Wide-spaced jimping, but very effective. And you can kind of lay your thumb down into that big swale here on the back of the blade. I mean, you could choke up like that. This is going to be an excellent knife for point work because of the sheepsfoot. And I'm not sure we got an advantage with the high grind and low grind here. You could to a degree. You can see that you've got a wider bevel here for your edge than we do on the main portion here. And this one is hollow. This one is flat, just like a Tonto, like an Americanized Tonto. Swedge at the top. This hump in here, very indicative of sheepsfoot. Usually have a little bit of a swale on the sheepsfoots. And again, they did a beautiful job matching the materials here. You cannot feel any demarcation there, nothing that is that you could feel with your finger. Got a nice relief chamfer cut into the liner. It's a nested liner, and we make good contact there. I'd say 40% at least. And when she's closed, it's hard to see the point there because it's buried way down inside, but there it is. I raised it up a little. It's dead center. With, as I say, a pretty good detent. Takes a little energy on that flipper tab, but when it breaks, it breaks. Same thing here. And not one easy to fail on the opening. Beautiful titanium clip, not quite deep carry, but still a nice and useful clip. You may or may not like the holes in the clip, but that is up to you and your tastes. Got a little bit of a platform there on top that's milled out. You can barely see it in the yellow G10, where they've created a little bit of a groove there for your finger to land. That's what Todd Knife and Tool calls it. Kind of a landing zone or landing platform there. But that is the TwoSun TS214, a design by Jelly Jerry. And maybe you're interested in more TwoSun knives. I would definitely see what they've got available up on White Mountain or eBay, if that's your thing. And the newer stuff generally hits eBay first, but takes you a little while to win, depending upon the length of the auction. And then when you do win, if you do, then you do need to wait at least, I'd say, 3-4 weeks to get the knife. At least that was my last experience years ago with eBay. Anyway, let me know what you think. And don't forget to give this vid a like. If you haven't subscribed, you'll see my logo right there, right now. And if you click that, it'll bring you to a link to subscribe. Will you all be well? Don't forget to give this video a like once again and subscribe. And I will see you soon. Be safe, take care, be well.